Long ago, in the forgotten corners of the galaxy, there was a legend told among the stars. It spoke of the Void Lords, a race of beings so ancient and powerful that their civilization stretched across entire galaxies. But their most incredible creation was not a weapon, nor a palace, it was a tomb, hidden in the deepest reaches of space, a place no one could find. It was said to be a megastructure, so vast that even the most advanced ships would pass it without ever knowing it existed. Centuries passed, and the story faded into myth. But then, a team of daring space archaeologists, led by Captain Naira and her crew, discovered a faint, strange signal, unlike anything they had ever heard. The signal led them to a lonely star system, where they found it, a colossal, shadowy shape, drifting silently through space. It was a massive structure, larger than a planet, its surface covered in intricate alien carvings, glowing faintly in the dark void. The crew set their ship down on its surface, and the very air seemed to hum with ancient power. As they ventured deeper into the structure, they felt the weight of the Void Lord's legacy. But what shocked them the most was the silence. No remnants of the civilization were found. Only cold stone and forgotten technology lay in its endless halls. Captain Naira felt an odd unease. It was as if the inhabitants were still here, watching. But where were they? What happened to them? The answer, hidden somewhere in the depths of the tomb, would change everything. And so, the legend of the tombs of the Void Lords began to unravel. The deeper Naira and her crew ventured, the stranger the tomb became. The walls shimmered with strange symbols, constantly shifting and changing as if they had a life of their own. Some were bright and sharp, while others faded into the stone like forgotten memories. The further they moved, the more unsettling it became. Shadows seemed to flicker in the corners of their vision, and sometimes, in the stillness, they could hear faint whispers, voices not quite human, yet filled with wisdom older than the stars themselves. One day, as the crew passed through a vast chamber, they discovered something even more bizarre, a massive pool of liquid, glowing with a soft, ethereal light. Floating above it was a strange, crystalline orb, suspended in midair. It hummed with energy, as if it held the secrets of the universe inside. Captain Naira approached cautiously. She could feel the pull of the orb, a magnetic force that beckoned her closer. As her fingers brushed against its surface, a flood of visions rushed into her mind. The Void Lords weren't destroyed. They had evolved beyond physical form. They had merged with the fabric of the universe itself, becoming part of the stars, the void, and the very space between worlds. The visions showed her their final moments, their decision to transcend, leaving behind their great structures as a testament to their existence. The orb was the key to understanding how they had done it, and perhaps, how they might return. But what would it mean for the crew? What dangers lay in tampering with such knowledge? The whispers grew louder, now sounding like a warning. Something was stirring in the tomb, something that had been waiting for them. Captain Naira turned to her crew, her heart racing. "We must leave, now," she said, but the ground beneath them began to tremble. The tremors grew stronger, shaking the walls of the tomb as if the ancient structure itself was alive. The crew rushed to the exit, their footsteps echoing through the hollow chambers. But no matter how fast they ran, the tremors seemed to follow them, as if the very heart of the tomb was waking up. The whispers had turned into voices, and now, they were clear. "Return what you have taken," the voices echoed, their tone both sorrowful and commanding. "The balance must remain." Captain Naira's pulse quickened. She knew that they had uncovered something far beyond their understanding, something the Void Lords had left behind for a reason. They had not just evolved, they had become part of the void, part of the fabric of existence. But the tomb was more than just a place, it was a guardian, a barrier between their world and whatever lay beyond. As they approached the ship, the shimmering orb from the chamber suddenly pulsed, sending a shockwave that knocked them to the ground. The structure trembled violently, and then, as if answering the ancient call, the walls began to shift. A massive portal, a swirling vortex of stars and light, opened in the heart of the tomb. It beckoned them. Naira stood frozen, torn between the overwhelming desire to explore and the warning of the voices. "What if we're not meant to leave?" she whispered, her eyes locked on the portal. But then, as if responding to her thoughts, a figure appeared before them, an apparition, not made of flesh, but of pure, glowing energy. It was the form of a Void Lord, its features indistinct yet unmistakably ancient. "The knowledge is ours no longer," it said, its voice both serene and sorrowful. "But you may choose to join us, or leave as you came." Naira understood then that they were not just explorers, they were witnesses to the final chapter of an ancient saga. The Void Lords had transcended to become part of the universe itself, and now, the crew faced a choice: to embrace the unknown and become something more, or return to the world they knew, carrying the legend of the tombs of the Void Lords. With one last look at the glowing portal, Naira turned to her crew. "We leave with the story," she said, her voice heavy with awe. "The universe is vast, and its secrets are not ours to claim. Not yet." As the crew climbed into their ship, the portal slowly closed, leaving only the silence of the tomb behind them. And in the depths of space, the legend lived on, waiting for the next explorers to uncover its secrets. The tombs of the Void Lords remained a mystery, an ancient, cosmic riddle that would continue to echo across the stars, long after the crew had departed. And so, the legend endured, growing ever more mysterious with the passage of time.